All right. I think we're live. You just quickly check in on that. Mm-mm. There we go. Excellent. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Tim Panosh, Barry Clark. Hello, Tim. You're always one of my great supporters of our live experiences. Tony Bennett, cool. Good to see you guys. Just let me know that our audio is fine, though I have no reason why it wouldn't be, but it's always just good to check in on this. Happy Sunday morning if you're in Australia, or happy Saturday afternoon if you're in the US, wherever you may be from. And let me know too in your comments whereabouts you're watching from. And if you could, press share on this as it comes up. Thanks, Timmy, in Iowa. Go the Hawks. So yeah, just press share for me if you wouldn't mind, because I want to always get our message. Good morning to you, Aidan Freeman, you rock star with a camera. Thanks, Bobby Little. Appreciate it. So yeah, I'm really excited about my guests this morning. They don't get a lot of the spotlight in their respective worlds, although Krista probably does. Thanks, Barry. Um, very great, a very cool story. Both these girls, both extremely hardworking women, extremely driven in their respective fields. Incredible mums, incredible housewives, amazing in business. They also happen to be Donny Schatz sisters, but that's we'll worry about that later. But I'm pretty sure that the wider Shots and Eisenschenk and Svaleson families will be tuned in. So let's get in this. Forget looking at me. Let's talk to these two beautiful women who are already looking very put together, I might say, which I expected, of course. So this will be the interesting thing to see whether they come on. There's Krista. And what is Deanne? There she is. If only people knew how much messing around Deanne has been going through with her background for all this. Good morning. Should I
Uh,
say good afternoon, Krista? Good afternoon, Deanne.
Morning, Wade.
Yeah,
Afternoon.
yeah.
Good afternoon.
Now I'm drinking a coffee. What are you ladies drinking? What's the drink of choice?
Go ahead, Deanne.
Nothing right now. Nothing yet.
Because
Nothing yet.
Nicholas Marshall is tuned in. Who's that guy even?
Well, that is actually my daughter on my husband's Facebook account.
Oh,
Yeah, she's
Oh,
downstairs watching.
Eva.
So,
oh.
yeah,
Now,
it's Eva.
hi, Eva. Um, so interestingly, when we talk about your family, Krista, you've just had a very romantic holiday in Paris. Yes?
Yes, yeah, yeah. We went there. Nick and I went there on our honeymoon, and then we went back 15 years later.
He's a
Just feels like
fantastic
it.
photographer. So you got some amazing images.
Yeah, he really is a great photographer. He has an eye, always has. So that's what Nick did before I drug him up to North Dakota to run truck stop life with me. So very talented photographer.
There are so many words that pop up in my vocabulary with you guys that remind me of how they mean different things. When you say you drug him up, in America, that means you dragged him up. You took him along, right? Drag him along. When you say you drug him up in Australia, it means that I don't know, ether or you've shot him up or something, or anyway, different kind.
Yeah, that's what I was referring to. I don't know what you were referring to, Wade, but I knocked him out, got him up here, and then he had to live with it. So
It's a pretty good life.
no.
It's a pretty good life you chose for him. The dragging life didn't choose him. He chose it. That's the way we'll say that.
Yep,
Where are you, Krista, by
yep.
the way?
I'm in Minot, North Dakota, which is about 50 miles south of the Canadian border in the center of the state.
Mm,
So it's, my dad used to joke that it's not quite the edge of the world, but you can see it from here. So it's pretty remote. Where Deanne is, there's a lot of times I envy because they're so much closer to, Fargo's a much bigger city where her and Donnie and my mom are, but Minot's really remote and there's really great people. We have a fantastic business here, and we drive on a lot of Canadian traffic, so
mhm.
um, that's really that's really kind of what keeps us going. But the landscape here, I think, is a little nicer with some rolling hills, and it's a little bit more rugged terrain. Um, but North Dakota in general, there's only 750,000 people in our entire state. And where I'm at, I think there's about 35 to 45,000 people. So it's fairly small, but big enough, to have your amenities like Walmart and, Target, and we have a mall. And so it's not terrible, but it's that much further when you're driving home, that's for sure.
When your brother started first racing, he was, of course, listed as from Minot, North Dakota. Like that was how a lot of people got introduced to, where or what Minot was. But amongst the many great stories that your dad's friends and family told to me, one of them in particular told me how your dad drove a road grader from Fargo to
Oh
Minot.
yeah.
He couldn't get a truck. And
Yes.
we can talk about
He
that.
did?
Yeah.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
remember
Yeah.
that.
It took him an entire day, I think, when he drove the road grader from
Yeah.
Fargo to Minot. But that was
Hmm,
that was very much a Danny thing to do. Like it, for us to know that he was doing that, it wasn't really all that. I don't even know what happened with the road grader. I think he sold it. Oh, he just wanted it from Fargo to Minot. My husband's in the background. I got to ask him some of these things because him and my dad were really close, and Nick kind of knew more of what was going on than I did half the time.
So,
So,
so Deanne, whereabouts are you, by the way?
Today I'm in Sioux Falls, South Dakota.
Huh? Wow.
Hmm.
Is it
Yeah,
racing?
we're not racing today. We're actually Gray's playing basketball again. Another weekend of basketball. Racing all got rained out so far this weekend, so we kind of split up. Bergan's playing softball. She has Regional One tournament today, and the twins are off, and Gray's playing ball. So Mike
how'd
stayed
they do
home,
today?
and I'm the Bergan. They're playing right now. I'm watching her while I'm
Oh,
How did Gray's team do?
Gray's team won both games. He just
Ooh,
jumped on with a team from Fargo, um, of some buddies that they asked him if he wanted to play this weekend, and he didn't have anything going on, so he was off with his other team. So of course he said yes, and me and Amelia drove down, and now we're just not playing till tomorrow morning. So just sitting in the hotel.
I feel bad that I've interrupted Bergwander's softball game. Like,
Oh, it's okay. They're ahead 14-0, so I think
oh,
she's fine.
there is a trait with all of your children that is generational, and it's called competitiveness. Nobody seems to just play for the joy of the play. They play because they love it, but they like kicking ass as well. Can you explain where
That's
that
right.
filtered down from?
I We talk about this. I really don't know if it was more my mom or more my dad. Krista and I talk about this all time because I feel like my mom is more verbally competitive and my dad was sort of like a secret competitor. Like he would do whatever he had to do behind the scenes to stay competitive for all of us. But my mom's always the one in the stands, secretly swearing or going like this or, you know,
I think
chatting it.
I think we got a dose. That definitely got a dose from both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I do. I think they both, I think they both were willing to work extremely hard and, put the 10,000 hours in it takes to be great at something, and then for there to let her rip and just really, put ourselves out there and, not shrink, but be big and let ourselves be big. And they were not afraid of being big. And sometimes that puts a target on your back. But
Mhm.
I think more often than not, they showed us that it was worth it. So yeah, all of Deanne's kids are like that. My kids, it's kind of the same thing. Ollie had a track meet today, and Eva plays basketball, and now she's starting to ride horse again. And so it's I think we all really like to compete. And I think too, we're healthy competitors, encouraging other people. We're not cutting other people down and, you know,
Yeah.
um, doing it in an unhealthy way.
There's a really cool Insta. I mean, there's so many great Instagram videos, and for as much as people say social media is toxic, if you want to get into the right algorithm, there's so much great stuff that's really uplifting. And there's a hilarious little girl playing little league softball or something, and her grandpa calls out, "Let her tater chip," and the little girl just drops a bat. She's like, "Come on, grandpa." But for some reason, I'm visualizing something like this has happened in your family at some point. Basketball.
well,
Basketball's your passion, Deanne, isn't it? Like that's predominantly.
Yeah, I mean, I've always loved the sport. I played the sport. I ran track, I played basketball, I played volleyball. You know, I like bat and ball sports. I always have. Um, and some of the all my kids have played basketball. Now it's just Gray, obviously, with the twins becoming injured, and Bergan's a softball junkie. So, you know, I kind of vicariously lived through Gray if he can keep going in it. But um, I mean, it's to me, it's just as much of a mental struggle as, you know, racing has been or horses has been. I mean, you can get knocked on your ass real quick. You can be humbled real quick. We've spent the summer getting humbled. Gray has anyways, but just playing in a league that it seems like every time we turn around, kids are 6 feet and up at 12 and 13 years old. So you think you're going to these tournaments and you got a good team, and then you're playing kids that are 6'9", 280 that are 13, and you're like, holy crap, we are really white and we are really small in North Dakota. So or in he's on a Minnesota team, but um yeah, I've always loved basketball. I think it drives my kids nuts how much I love it. I don't know. Basketball and racing probably.
We are really white and we are really small. Krista, that's just a beautiful way to sum up your family.
I mean, it's true. And he's on a
It's
Minneapolis team,
yeah.
so it just seems like everybody's smaller and just all in all general in the Midwest compared to these kids from way east or way west. It's just crazy. They seem like they're 3 or 4 years ahead of the talent than what where we think we're really good at our age level. So
We can
it's
officially
I
start.
think
crazy.
We can officially start the podcast now because Uncle Greg is tuned in.
oh
The
He
wild man.
great.
is.
Mhm. The wild man of the Shots clan,
I
no doubt about it.
He is. Yes, he's a secret
Oh,
baddie.
oh, he's the original.
Now, Krista,
We should.
are you guys born on the same day but years apart? Did I see something crazy like that?
Yep. Deanne and I are 2 years apart to the day, April 7th.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah.
So
Yeah. And yeah, I don't know. It's something you'd have to ask my mom, but you know, I'm the youngest of three, and my mom had they had to schedule a C-section. So I think one time I asked her, I'm like, why not on a different day? She's like, well, that's just what the doctor wanted to do. So I said, okay. So yeah, Deanna and I have the same birthday, which now it's amazing. You know, when we were 3 and 5, it wasn't as much fun, but um, you know, we really missed our opportunity this year because our combined age was 90, and I really wanted a balloon and a birthday cake that said happy
oh,
90th birthday, but I didn't I told her
Oh,
like 3 times too. I'm like, we have to celebrate our
I
90th.
I wasn't picking up on where you're going with it. I'm not that
Oh,
quick with the
that's
math. Like I totally missed that.
well, we celebrated 80, so I mean I thought we would have celebrated 90, but
there's a red
I don't
Me
flag
even think
on the
too.
I
play.
haven't seen you. Have I seen you in all of April and May?
Oh,
I don't
I
think
don't know when the
so.
last time I saw you was.
I've seen you on TV.
Oh,
uh-huh,
You know,
that's a
uh-huh.
I've seen you
real
on
close.
TV. Yep.
There's a
I mean,
um,
I'm not
Hmm.
on TV much, but I've seen you.
there's a red flag on the play here. Mike has come on here and no turf too tough and said, "Wait, is Deanne on a bar patio?"
I'm not.
He
I
knows you so
wish.
well.
I'm just gonna say live from Buffalo Wings and Rings,
Oh,
I
Buffalo Wild
wish.
Wings.
The patio at the Comfort Inn and Suites.
right. Okay. I can live with all that. I got a chance, Krista, as you know, and I'm really this year I would love to come to Minot and hang and see a bit more of your world, and I would love to come to Amy Tatnall's about the closest I've been to a horse racing event or a horse riding event, I should say, where I went and watched Amy ride with Emma, and I know that the Tatnalls are great friends of your family as a collective.
Hmm.
Um, but I didn't get the chance to hang out with you, but I did get to hang out with a lot of your dad's friends, and it was really special for me to learn more about Danny's legacy and his little nuances, and hey, can you borrow me $20, and how much he loved ice cream and all those sort of things. To you guys, he was just your dad, but he certainly taught you some life values and some ways of being that have filtered right down since, your whole life and continue to do so, Krista.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, he guided us. I feel like he still guides us, just because he had such a way with words and analogies. And, both of our parents stayed, have always been very involved in, all the stuff that we've done in our life. We're a very close family, and, you know, um, we're kind of in the depths of what each other's are doing, and in a very respectful way. So, um, yeah, Dad was really, really good at setting us on the right path, and keeping our head straight on, even when we were being difficult, or, you know,
You two are difficult?
Well, I wasn't, but she must have been.
I can't imagine that Don would have been a little shit.
I think,
Actually,
you know,
no, he was not. Let's not lie about this, Short. Like he was not. He was like always on curfew, never really
yeah, he's,
got in trouble. Um, did he? I mean, I don't. I feel like we got in trouble. He didn't get in trouble. Even like in
I don't think,
college, like we were just so fun, and he was not
yeah.
at
Right. I
all.
feel like we have a little bit more personality. And in Donnie's defense, he got so serious about something and so competitive about something at such a
Yes.
young age. I think he had a lot
Hmm.
on his shoulders, where we had a little bit more room to grow, and a little bit more room to, be young and dumb. And we definitely, I think, utilized those years and had a lot of fun. I know that as soon as Deanne went to college, it felt like I went to college. So I spent a lot of time, her first 2 years of college with her, especially my last year of high school, because I actually, was only an hour away from her. I finished school in Minnesota, and I spent a lot of time with Deanne on the weekends. So, I mean, I wasn't even out of high school yet, hanging out with all her friends, and, experiencing a lot of really fun things. So, um, and, of course, my parents knew about it.
They did?
They Oh gosh. Well, I mean, yeah, I'm assuming, I mean, don't you remember my 21st birthday where Dad took a motorhome and loaded us all up and went from bar to bar to bar so he could be there and be involved and make sure that we weren't doing anything dumb?
Yeah,
So,
I
I
do
mean,
remember that.
he was, he had the foresight to be like, he reserved that day, and I was living in Minneapolis at the time, and he's like, you just come home for your birthday. And of course I wanted to spend it at home because it was Deanne's birthday too. And I had been using her ID to get in the bar for 2 years before I turned 21 anyway. So it was like, I might as well give it back to her. So,
Now
so
I
we
want to
all
use your
loaded up.
idea.
Yeah.
N- Now I want
Yeah.
to use your
Right. Now
idea
you can
because you're
use
2 years
mine.
younger. Yeah,
Yeah. That 44 versus 46 is going to get you,
it will.
get you far.
You're gonna
But
use mine when
yeah.
it's senior discount time. You're gonna be like, "Hey, can I?"
Right. Right. I will. I can't wait.
It,
So when I get the senior discount on the menu at Starbucks, do they have senior discounts at Starbucks?
I don't know. I doubt it.
to
But
be honest, Donnie is low key hilarious. It's not until you see that he is such a funny dude. But you only have to be on his Snapchat to watch some of the really weird shit he does when he's doing his karaoke and when he's up there by himself in the plane and stuff. He's a man that is very different to who you see as a public persona. But the your mum is such a powerful figure, just like a little lady, but just commands this aura about her. And I remember, I was tripping around with Bergan and her little bestie just before, your dad's race, Deanne.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and we went to Chick-fil-A and stuff, and I'm looking at my watch going, what time do we need to be there? Do I just drop you at the track now? And they're like, no, we've only got a few more minutes to hang with you. And then all of a sudden, Grandma rang on the phone, and she's like, where are you? You're supposed to be in the t-shirt trailer. Like, you might be my grandkid, but get your butt in the trailer. And they were like, Grandma's cranky. I was like, oh God, is Diane pissed at me? Because then I'm in trouble. So we all got a little bit scared for a minute there. This sweet little lady she commands a presence.
Yeah, she sure
yeah,
does. she's definitely, when she says to do something and you don't show up, your ass is grass. The kids
Yep.
definitely have learned that at a young age, like, especially when it comes to that t-shirt trailer. Like, when she says 8, you better be there at 8. You know what I mean? Or actually more like 7:20, because she gets mad. She could get mad at 7:20, or she could get mad at 7:50, or she could be calling at 8:02. You just got to be prepared.
Okay, Krista, you're going to confirm
Yeah.
this, or you're too scared to say that?
It's
No, I
true.
mean, it's accurate. She definitely has a presence, in my professional life in running the business that they created. I've had many people like that I've met with, whether it be salespeople or reps from companies that vendors we buy products from and stuff like that. And after meeting them, they're like, just want to let you know that I've always been really scared of your mom, And so,
Yeah.
and like, I think she does it in a way it's extremely effective, especially in business, and it's admirable because there's days where Deanne and I have been lucky enough to work in the businesses that they've created, and there's days where I have to pull from my dad's toolbox of tricks with just how to treat people or how to talk to people or how to calm them down, but there's days that I have to pull from Diane's toolbox too, where it's like you have to be
Yeah.
just an iron fist or just cold as ice and get to where you need to get to. So they definitely had qualities that were amazing to learn from in business,
Yeah.
and getting shit done.
And it's the environment too that she's grown up in. This is a really weird analogy, but since we're onto the white and small thing, Deanne, you started it. That when you get onto a bus or into a queue with a person from Asia, they generally like right in your grill. They're like, boom, inside the bus. Well, hang on a minute, like because they're used to having to create that space because that's the environment they grew up in, right? There's so many more people, so you don't wait for the opportunity, or you might not get on the bus. Your mum grew up in a world that was, I would imagine, male dominated in business. And she kind of had to stamp her foot and say, hey, I'm doing this too. And this is what we're going to do. Because when you roll into that truck stop in Fargo, it's very clear who the boss lady is, Deanne, when you're not. See what I did there? See what I did there?
Yeah. I think like, I mean, I've worked for my parents like at Petro since 1999. And before that, we all worked at Minot and stuff. But like literally everyone in our profession, Krista and I's, everybody that I work with, I'd say 95% of the people that I work with on a daily basis are men. Especially like on the truck stop side or on the fuel side. Even like through the franchises that I have, like Popeyes, Charlie's, Cinnabon, they're all somebody who's calling me is typically a man.
Ah,
So
still.
and so yeah,
Yeah.
still like in everything we're doing, managing these businesses, it's male dominant, which um that's just kind of how it's been our whole life, I think. The boards I'm on, like I'm the only female on a board. I'm chairman of the board, and I'm the only female on the board. And it's all a bunch of truck stop, gas station owners, oil jobbers. Like it's just in what we do, it's men. And you have to really, um, personally, I'd rather work with men just because I sort of well, I have grown up in that environment. And so it's easier for me to try to talk to men and work with men and deal with men than it is women and emotion and feelings and stuff like that. Um, which probably sounds really bad, but that's just what we've been used to our whole life. I'm sure Krista would agree. Um, wouldn't you? Or is that
Yeah,
far-fetched?
I mean, no. I 100% agree. It's a male dominated
Yeah.
industry. I think and maybe in other states or maybe in other environments it's not, but where we are in North Dakota and what we're doing in North Dakota, I would say it still primarily is. Um, I think that you see some powerful women here and there, and it's fun to celebrate them. But we don't see a lot of them in our industry, and hopefully it'll be more and more. But I mean, I think I think it probably was very hard for my mom in that industry, especially in the 70s and the 80s and the early 90s. I think she really, a lot of stuff got done through my dad. It has changed quite a bit because despite the fact that, it's a male dominated field, I think that Deanne and I both don't have a problem getting, the stuff done that we need to get done. Deanne, for example, she's much more industry facing than I am. Just with the design of her business and the size of her business, she stays involved a lot more with the petroleum marketers and those organizations running on those boards. So I'm glad she does it instead of me. I probably should do more of it, but
Has she ever poured
it's hard.
has she ever poured hot coffee over you or over yourself at all when you're getting coffee on the way to work?
Wait, come on.
Well, I mean,
Did she do that to you?
well,
Yeah,
we were rushing. We were rushing. Can you imagine that,
Yeah.
Krista? We were rushing to
Yeah.
get to work.
Yeah.
I was just riding along. I
Inter
was the rider.
yeah. No.
Well, you need
Nope,
to
she's
try it.
never poured hot coffee on me.
I know that
So,
you don't take Starbucks into the Petro because there's a lady at the Cinnabon that gets awfully shitty at you if you take foreign objects into the station, right? Deanne, you got very passionate
that's
staff.
right, Carol.
Yeah.
Hey, I haven't poured hot coffee on you, but I have chased you around the barn with a pitchfork before.
oh, yes. Yes,
Wow.
yes, yes.
You really
We've
pissed
had
me off.
some,
You're
It's
yeah,
good.
did I pid you off? Did I pid you off?
you really pissed me off. You're alive, so I didn't you must have been a lot faster than I
Mm,
was.
yeah. Well, I remember that day and you borrowed my splint boots for my horse and you put them on your horse and
Oh,
I had a meltdown
oh,
and we got in a big fight. And I think my cousin Jarrett had to lock me into a horse stall to keep me from killing her. So, there was some fights that we had. You
this is
got
good.
three really
You see,
strong
Wade,
people at home.
we both couldn't do horses. You see, Wade?
Ah,
Yep.
that's why.
It's probably,
Because we
yeah.
don't share well.
They're
Yep.
your mum is such an incredibly fierce businesswoman, but Jarrett Schatz is saying I did not. So there's already rebuttal from cousin Jarrett
What?
saying that, yeah.
He did
Oh,
too. He was like the keeper
he
of the
did too.
peace. Like,
He
yeah.
was always it was fun to grow up next to like bonus siblings, which were Jarrett and Josh. For me anyway, I was the youngest and they were closer to my age. And I spent a lot of time with Jarrett and Josh and they're just such great people, such great family members.
When
So,
we obviously I saw a lot of your mum's business dealings and the way that she is with the merch because she runs all of Donny's merch and the twin stuff with the distribution and the mail out and the whole bit. I think that's really her domain. But when we went to get ice cream and pick up the ice creams for Dad's race, and I said to those wonderful people at the ice cream store, is there any way that the girls could make blizzards? And they went, yeah, sure. And your mum's eyes, she turned into a 12-year-old kid because it was really special for her to do something that, your mum and dad had done together on the other side of that window for so many years getting ice cream
mhm.
together. And there she was with Meals and Laos, making these blizzards. And it was really lovely to see that as much as you need to have a hard veneer for business and to do the things that you're doing in this industry, that the little simple things in life still give everybody joy.
Yeah. I think that's why she likes the t-shirt trailer so much. For as big as the organization gets and as much as we have going on, I think my mom just really enjoys, like the simple check in and check out of customer after customer and, the setting up and the selling and then the packing up. I think that's kind of her it's very similar to the way they started in the restaurant where it's, customer in, what can I get you? Here's your meal. How happy are you? Pay your bill. And then you go and then it's the next customer. And so I think that's why she really likes the t-shirt trailer so much. And there's something really beautiful about that sort of like business where you're selling an item and people are happy about it and then they're on their way. It's so much easier than selling a concept or a brand or, like a big intangible thing. Like they've always sold these items that were like a gallon of gas, gallon of diesel, a hamburger, a t-shirt, candy bar, you know? And so I just think my mom really enjoys that exchange quite a bit still. We all do,
Yeah,
you know? I think
she's
that's,
really
you
good
see
at it
Deanne,
too.
Yeah, she
she's
is.
really good at it.
Yeah,
You
she's
know,
really good
Deanne,
at it. Yeah, I don't know how she can like just doing the little bit of stuff that I've done with the twins. It's super hard to know when you're in a sport like that, there's such a vast gap in like what your target market is because a race can be 6 month old and 100.
Yeah,
And so like when you're trying to like plan and organize and design stuff for the masses, male, female, everything in between in all age groups, like it's not easy at all. And it's really hard to continue to make things that don't look the same. Like I feel like there's a lot of people out there that have race merch that starts to kind of look the same. You know, the colors are kind of the same. The designs have a lot of similarities or minimal tweaking. And if you're not like a creative, open-minded person, you're probably not going to be that great at it because you have to have something for everybody. Big, small, short, tall, young, old, you know. It's super hard. Like we struggle with that with the girls because they're so young. It's like, okay, well, who's our demographic? You know, who are we selling to? Are we selling to 17-year-old girls? Or are we selling to Wade? Well, we're selling to all of it.
both.
And
Yeah,
it's like you have to sell a lot of it to be able to have a wide demographic of stuff to sell. I mean, you can't just have 30 different t-shirt designs and be profitable. You know, it's like it's a lot harder than people realize, but one thing she always has is she has a lot of stuff. You've seen it, Wade. She has something for everybody. And I
yeah,
don't think it doesn't sell unless you have a lot of it. You know, she's always got things looking full and there's a variety. And I think with the struggle that Donnie's had like in the last couple years, you know, with his program and stuff, it's like she's still selling a lot of merchandise. And she continues to. Granted, he's a legend. Um, but I think a lot of it goes back to her and how good she is at designing it, organizing it, preparing it, and then displaying it compared to others.
if you park all that off to the other side for a second, all three of us are very proud parents and very protective of our kids, right? Uh, every wife or girlfriend or parent that is on the road with merchandise is selling their child's merchandise to fans are going to be subjected to peripheral noise. So you can imagine, Krista, where there's three people that come up to Donny's t-shirt trailer, and two of them are Donny fans and one is not. And I would imagine some of the conversations that she has to hear and just put her head down because someone would say something like, "I'm not going to buy that piece of shit's t-shirt." Like that stuff is a real thing, that kind of rivalry. So, Krista, I would imagine it would be extremely challenging at times to hear that kind of stuff.
oh, yeah, yeah. I mean, we've all heard it. I think that we're kind of built to know how to handle it. I think that's what happens when the people at the top, it happens to them, and it's good to be at the top and have it happening to you. I think as a mom, it would be incredibly tough to hear that. I think about it happening to my kids, and I think that it would be difficult to just be quiet. But I know she hears stuff like that. I know she hears rumors that aren't true. I know it's just it's just part of it, you know.
Yeah.
So I um I'm sure there'll be a day where Deanne has to deal with that with the twins, and it'll be even harder because it's two young ladies,
Yeah.
and that that
I deal with it already. I mean, because my last name's different from their last name. So like I hear it too in the stands, like, and it's hard for me because they are young. So you hear a lot of like, oh, those are Donnie Schatz's nieces. They don't belong here. Or if one of them goes backwards or something, it's like, see, girls can't race. They just got all this nice equipment. They don't belong here. Crap like that. And it's like, we're already dealing with it. And I think it's probably going to be a tough task for them because of being related and also the fact that they're female. So they kind of got two things stacked against them. Um, and I think they handle it pretty well. It's hard on me, like, and it's hard on mom too. She gets defensive of them as well. Um, for the most part, it's pretty good, but it's I'm sure it's going to be a lot of years of, biting your lip and just having thicker skin than you've already been trained to have already, you know?
So there's very cool merch we just talked about. Krista, do you have your own merch? Is there, Krista? What? You know that
No.
picture we used of you, like just
Yes.
doing that would
She
make a fantastic t-shirt. Have you ever thought about doing a little range of merch of yours?
No, I think that what I'm doing is very cool, but I'm not at the level by any means where it's, a super, super, super big deal like, what Donny is doing. I think that um it'll be fun to do some Team USA stuff when I go over to Switzerland. But until I need a couple more years of really um
Hmm.
continuing to climb the ladder to be at the level where anybody would want a shirt with my name on it.
Oh, come
But
on.
Oh, bullshit.
I Everybody on this this little session would buy one. Becky Ehrman, she'd buy one from you. She's a
It's not about a point of
thanks, Becky.
comparison here, Marshall. It's not about you comparing
Yeah,
yourself to your brother here. It's about
Yeah.
that would be a badass shirt of you just raining that sucker in
yeah.
that picture. And there's some amazing pictures of you doing that.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I think anytime you get, a beautiful horse in there and some dirt flying, it's not hard to make it look real
Oh
real
my God.
pretty.
Are you hearing this
So
shit, Deanne? This is
Yeah. Well, and you know what, Wade, have you ever noticed like the shirts she wears?
no.
Oh my,
Oh,
you
oh, yeah,
haven't?
yeah, 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 yeah. Like the Garth Brooks
When
shirt.
she's on, yeah, Garth Brooks shirt.
Yeah, she looks
Yeah,
amazing. It's a
like Garth
full,
Brooks.
it's
Yeah,
a full
yeah,
vibe.
not
yeah.
not really Garth Brooks shirt, but we'll go with that. Wait, it's fine. It's fine.
But
We'll start
you
there.
got it's a look, right? It's a full vibe. It's like got glitter and
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
it's like the shirt
colored and
matches the blanket. The shirt matches the blanket and the chaps. Like it's like it's
hmm
like a full. She'll send pictures to my mom and I, like if she's coming up for a big ride, and she's like, "Which one should I wear?" And then we'll get two different ones, and it's like, I don't know. They both look great. Like it's very like not our style, but they look
Yeah,
fantastic on her when
yeah.
she's flopping her hair in the wind and
yeah. Oh, shush. I don't have any. Yeah, it's just part of it. Like in what we do, there is a dress code. There are certain things that we have to abide by. We have to have a long sleeve collared shirt. We have to have our hat and um, you know, our chaps. So, there's things that we have to have. And then the bigger the show and the more added money, the more and the higher the stakes, it seems like we put a little bit more into our wardrobe. Um, and I think do we need to? Absolutely not. There's people who do really well that aren't in full sequins vests. But I think that like anything else, when you go out there and you perform or you compete, the better you look and you feel, the better you're going to do. And especially when you start, kind of as a no-namer and you're putting yourself.
I mean, I'm just
yeah,
saying
that's her. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
that is a
Yep.
t-shirt.
Garth
That is a
Brooks. Yep.
t-shirt right there. It is
Garth
Garth Brooks.
Brooks. Yeah, Garth Brooks had that first.
I see what
Um,
you did then. I'm just
and
saying
she
that
got
Garth is very cool. Okay, Deanne. I didn't
and
mean
she and she got it tailored significantly.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, they're pretty
Anyway,
cool.
what
they're
is
a lot of
They
fun.
what is raining horses? Can we clarify this for idiots like me that don't know? What is that sport? Can you explain that, please?
Okay, the sport of reining, it's a pattern. There's, three main maneuvers, the spins, the stops, and the circles. Everybody goes out there. It's kind of like one big time trial. It's one horse at a time, and you get the best score, and then they place
Mhm.
you with the best scores.
I love this. Some of your content is
Yeah,
amazing.
that's cool.
Thanks.
See, there's nothing else
Yeah.
getting in that shirt. Doesn't it look so good?
Oh, there's a
It looks
spin. There's
so
the
good.
circles, right? Is that a spin or a circle? I'm confused.
That's
Oh,
a
that's
circle when they're loping. That's a
Ooh,
circle. That's a spin. Or we sometimes call them turns.
yeah,
And
what a
that's a
photo.
sliding stop.
That is so Garth Brooks.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that that's a little better than Garth Brooks. But you can't compare country music to riding horses, I don't think. I mean,
Okay,
you
you're right.
could, but like apples to oranges there.
So
Yeah. So
yeah. You're just amazing.
yeah,
thanks.
there's no, Wade, I've told my mom this like 100 times. I'm like, there is absolutely no way I could remember. All I'd remember is get in the arena, gas it up, slide on your ass, and then I'd be like, crap, what's next? Like there's
Yeah.
a lot,
It's
you have to memorize the pattern. It's not like it's on a screen and then it tells you what to do next or in your ear. You look at a piece of paper and you have to memorize the whole pattern and do the whole pattern perfectly to be able to get scored.
yeah.
We've created a monster here. The shirt thing is a real thing now. Everybody is saying, "Hey, Shorty, we want your shirt," and it's like it's going to happen. So I know Diane's going to be watching this. Mama,
Yeah.
I
we need
don't, I
Nobody
don't,
right.
I don't think
I want
mom
to
knows. Does mom know how to run Facebook really? I don't think she's on.
Okay, so you need to. There's
I
enough people in this family watching this
no.
that can make mum to make a.
Oh,
Dude, Krista, it's happening.
No.
We're all getting one.
No. Mm-mm.
Yes. What do you think,
Yeah.
Ian?
I mean, I could probably show up in the next horse show with one on.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
definitely
I've got a
wouldn't look as
cricket.
good as you. I wouldn't
Dan, do
look
you
as
need to
good
borrow
as
my
it.
cricket?
No, I
No.
told you
You don't want
that's what I gave.
you don't want to get divorced or what's going on?
No, Wade, do you know what a cricket is?
No.
It's like a miniature
Like a
vinyl like printing machine. And so
Oh,
sometimes I
yeah.
get like these really wild ideas and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do this for a hobby.
With all your time.
So yeah, so I
yeah.
started it. I started it and I will say like I'm not tooting my own horn, but I'm pretty creative. Um
That's the furthest thing from the truth right here. That is the single statement that is not accurate.
you
You're
don't
the
think I'm
opposite of
creative?
creative.
I am so good at decorating a house. I don't, how is that not creative?
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay,
Hmm.
anyways, so I
Okay,
get a
sounds
cricket.
good.
So I get a cricket and I'm doing these little projects. And of course, Mike, my husband, he gets drug into it. So the
Drug into it.
swearing and like he hated it. So for Valentine's last year, I gave my cricket away. That was his gift.
Oh, wow.
I was
Then the
like,
next time she was
I,
at my house, she was like, "Get in the car. We're going to get a cricket. You need one of these."
It's like an air
Which,
fryer for creative people.
yeah,
oh my God.
it's like, which is
Yeah.
like, I don't know. It's like giving, I don't know. It's like giving a creative person a gift card for Hobby Lobby.
Yeah.
Of course, I loved it. And next thing you know, we're making everything, and we have all the accessories. So you got
Do you
me into
seriously not think
cricketing.
I'm
So
creative? You
Yeah.
don't think I'm creative
I
at
mean,
all?
I think you're really creative, actually. But your artistic ability is not
You're right.
it's not. I mean, it's there, but it's just not really there.
This is so good. Raining horses,
Yeah.
Krista, because it's
What
raining.
exactly
Yes.
am I good at? Let me just
Oh God. I'm just gonna put
You're
Deanne in
good
the
at
waiting
you're
room.
good at math. You're really good at math.
I am good at math. I will say
You're good
that.
at you're good
Yes.
at driving.
Like,
You're a good driver.
yeah,
Not like in a race
so
car, but like in your car.
yeah, so like Donnie's a professional race car driver. You are a professional horsewoman,
I
and
am
I am
not a
excellent.
professional
I
horsewoman.
am really good at math. I'm good at math. I've I've always
You have
wondered where my talent is, and that I finally got it.
Well, when the math
yeah.
thing, you're good at multiplication. You got four beautiful children, right?
I
There we
So,
do.
go.
And
so Krista, raining horses quickly.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
escalating into a full scale.
Sorry.
After this
Sorry.
Zoom, you two are going to be on the floor. Did you really say? So,
oh God, no.
how often do you
We're
compete
good.
and where?
I compete about once a month, sometimes twice. But most months it's once a month. I kind of escalated the whole horse showing thing. It's been almost 3 years ago when I moved my horses from South Dakota to Scottsdale, Arizona, and I started working with one of the best non-pro coaches in the industry. He's amazing, and everything has just really skyrocketed from there. Um, and he is my dad never got a chance to meet him, but I think my dad would have really, really liked and respected him. He's a great coach, very serious. I swear he has eyes in the back of his head. He can just see everything. And sometimes he doesn't even have to see it. He can hear the horse's feet hit the ground and knows what's happening, which is amazing, just in terms of as a coach. But I show mostly in Oklahoma and
Nice.
Scottsdale, Arizona, and I'm in Vegas here and there sometimes. I don't know if I'll go to Vegas this year or not. And I show in California. But from my husband said it best when we were in the office, and um, he reminded the girls in the office, he's like, got to remember after the show season starts, Krista's going to be gone for about a week out of every month from February through November. So that's kind of my schedule. I get everything done and then I go and I come home after I show and I get everything done and then I go and come home. So it's not terrible in terms of a schedule, but when I'm gone for probably 6 to 8 days, sometimes 10.
So again, pardon my ignorance because I want to come and see you do
No,
this.
it's okay. That's
Even
okay.
even Donny hasn't been to see you, and he was feeling very bad. We talked about that. He's like, I feel bad. I've never
I
actually
heard that.
compete, right?
It's okay.
But
It's okay.
are people sitting in the stands going, oh, I say, marvelous riding, Rob?
Yeah.
Or is it like, you really rode that thing like crazy? Like, what is the audience
Um,
like? Is it like a rodeo or is
you
it like
know,
a tournament?
so this is the first year that I've been, well, this like part of last year and then this year is the first year that I've been really, really competitive at the top levels at some of the big shows. So it tends to be like some of the big finals, like that run that you showed. That is one of the biggest competitions we can go to. It's the biggest payout. It's the highest level of competition, and we did
Payout.
really, really, really well
What's
there.
the payout? What kind of money's involved in this deal?
So first place won 50,000 take home for
Oh,
the
damn.
non-pro. And I got third and I tied for third. And I think, for my placing at third, it was 16,000 that I won. So it drops down significantly as you place, but you're talking the best in the industry. And so to be there and to be that high up, it was like, pinch me. I can't believe like I'm finally breaking through. Like I feel like Donny when he was at the Knoxville Nationals winning second for a couple years in a row. Like that's kind of right where I'm at right now, where it's just like I think people are starting to see, that I'm capable and I'm capable at the higher levels. And then I'm starting to see that too. So it takes a lot to get there. And, I don't do this full time. So I don't do this as a profession. So I do this on top of a job and being a mom and having kids that are in, different sports and stuff like that. So um, it's a lot to put on top of, just day-to-day life.
50
But
grand
we're
for
we're finally
non-pro.
getting there.
50 grand for
Yeah.
non-pro. What does a pro get?
Yeah. Oh, they make they're I think it just depends on, there's I would say that annual earnings can be anywhere from $500,000, down or $400,000 down. And the open riders, the professional riders, they're training horses and they're selling horses and they're getting paid for more than just their earnings in the show pen. So the non-pros, we're just getting our earnings in the show pen and we're paying somebody else to train our horse and, somebody else to train us. So it's the industries are very similar. Sprint car racing and this,
Okay.
the reining thing that I do, I've seen both sides. So I'm very I have a good knowledge of how it works, in the sprint car racing world, obviously, and the teams and the travel and the families and the camaraderie and then the competition and then, dealing with the track and dealing with the facilities and all that stuff. And we go through the exact same thing. Um, we're traveling here and there together. And you see the same families and we're all out there, getting sprayed with dirt
Yeah.
essentially. And it's a very similar industry. It's very, very cool.
Uh-oh, your sister just dropped out. This would be
I
interesting.
know. I was just,
Well,
yeah.
the creative one apparently is not very creative in staying on the stream. Hello, Layla. Layla is now tuned in. I noticed Amelia was tuned in before as well. That's okay. We can talk to just you anyway, because Deanne's.
Yeah. Is she coming back on?
I have no
Oh, I
idea.
guess it doesn't matter.
She
Oh,
dropped out at this point. It's really cool that you've pursued the equine side of things in your life too, because obviously mum and dad had two passions. They had
yep.
horse riding, and they had racing, and so you've taken on that part of your family's life as well. While the shot side and the Eisenshanks are welcome back.
Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Well, you know that you're
Somebody
so
was
creative. I
calling
don't know
me
how that
at
happened.
somebody was calling me and I didn't know how to like stop it.
Mike has just said, "I'm willing to let a cricket back in the house so you can prove your creativity." It is so on. Oh,
I don't think it's good for my health. It's just
What
way
advice?
too stress.
Maybe not.
I I just don't think it's such a good idea. I've tried several creative things like knitting, cricket, arts and crafts,
hey, there's Nick.
uh,
There's Nick.
pottery. Hi, Uncle Nick. Happy
Hey,
birthday.
Yes,
they said happy birthday.
it's the twins'
He'll come
birthday,
in and
right?
say hi.
Didn't I get it? Didn't I see? Hey, Nick. He's a badass photographer. I know he probably can't hear me, but you're a great photographer, Nick.
He
Very good.
said you're a great photographer.
Definitely. So, I was just saying while you were off sipping a margarita or something just then, Deanne, to
I
your
wish.
sister, it's so cool that she's pursued the horse side of your family's life and you guys are doing the racing. So dad would be so thrilled because the two passions of horse and horsepower are really important, and you're
Yeah.
both doing that. And Krista's holding up her end of that.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
doing good.
it's a
It's crazy how good she's doing it. Not that she didn't have, I didn't think she had it in her, but like it's a grueling sport that she's tackling and really started from the bottom with a minimal budget, still has a minimal budget compared to the people she's competing against. It's actually wild that she's taken horses that cost her minimal in a lot of people's eyes and turned them into had such good success on them that she's been able to sell them for quadruple the money she paid. That's pretty cool. So
thanks. Yeah, no, it's like mom said, it's the only thing I've ever been good at. So I'm just trying to really hang on
she
to that.
said that.
What she used to tease about when
Uh,
I was younger. No, but I mean, I just I feel like I feel like horses just change my DNA. So I mean, I'm a better person around them, and it's just I think when you're that person that's just like in love with horses, it's really easy to spend that time and energy over and over and over in the long nights and the early mornings, and it takes a toll on your body, that's for sure. If you've ever seen a horse trainer that's spent a lot of time training horses and riding and showing, and they get off, they walk a little crooked. So it definitely takes its toll on your body. And I don't get nearly what other people do, but you can't be out of shape and do it. That's for sure. It's very difficult, especially at a high level.
There
So,
is
um,
an amazing experience at the Nationals every year, Deanne, with Panda, where the American flag is brought out during the
oh
Knoxville,
yeah.
and boy, it's just the most surreal experience when the crowd sees that beautiful horse Panda come out with JC on board down out of the pit gate down the back and start riding with that big flag. And there's fireworks going off and the crowd's roaring and I've said to JC before, what is Panda like? Does Panda know that this is about the horse, that the crowd is about them. And she said, "Oh yeah," like immediately Panda gets the chest out and can really sense what's going on. Is that what it's like for the horses in the arena as well, Krista? Are they really aware of the
Oh, I think so. I think that, like we talk all the time about this mind-body connection and like the horse that I have that I've been doing really good on, Rye, I just feel like he and I plug in and he knows I'm amped up and he gets there and he's just, there's so much try and there's so much they give to you and I think that I 100% buy into that. Like they absorb that energy, they absorb it. Some horses hate it, some horses are unwilling to do it. And um, but yeah, I think they feed off of it. I think especially when they know it's a safe place. I think there's horses that are just like athletes that walk out on the court if they're an NBA player and they hear the crowd and they see
yeah?
all the stuff and they just get you know, I think some either crumble or some either rise up, and I'm very lucky to have um, two right now that I think are really one that for sure is, and one that's kind of just coming into it where he's starting to see like, oh, this is really cool, you know.
When are you heading to
So
Switzerland? You're in Team USA now. Is it the Worlds? Like, what is the event called again? Pardon my ignorance.
no, it's okay. It's called the World Reining Championship, and it's in Switzerland, and it's at CS Ranch, which is Karina Schumacher. I believe she's the wife of Michael Schumacher,
Yeah.
and the
Wow.
mother of Gina Marie Schumacher. She shows as a non-pro in reining. She's one of the
Hmm.
best in the sport. She's a huge, somebody I respect a lot, don't know very well, but she's just so good at the sport itself. But it's at their ranch in Switzerland, and we'll be going in July the 7th through the 12th. And yeah, me and nine others will be, or there's nine of us total. So we'll be representing Team USA and we'll compete individually and then we'll compete as a team against, other countries just for titles. And there's added money and medals and trophies and all that stuff. So it's a very, very, very cool deal. The event reining used to be a part of the Olympics um, in the FEI and the World Equestrian Games, and then they pulled that really out of the Olympics. So now
Wow.
this is the world competition equivalent where it kind of landed in layman's terms. So I'm very honored to be a part of it, and um, I hope that the event continues to grow, and we can just do a really good job.
See that
I
little.
don't know
Eva.
what else. Are
It's
you laughing
Eva.
at Eva? Here, come here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Eva. How are you, darling?
He's asked how
So I've
you
got
were.
two interesting observations from all this, Krista. Firstly, how did you ever let a world championship get out of America? Hmm. That's me smiling
What do
because
you mean?
Americans are always world champions, even when the rest of the world's not invited. So it's actually
Oh, right, right, right.
it's actually you see Deanne, she's like,
That's funny.
"What did you mean by that?" But how do you get the horses there?
We have to ship them.
Fly
Yeah.
them or ship them?
So, yep, yep, fly them. Yep.
Wow, that's going to be a
So they'll
process in
go,
itself.
Donnie's not taking the
it's
horses.
Hey, quiet down back there.
um, right. This is the first time that I'll be air freighting a horse, but it's they say it's not as hard on them. 10 hours in an airplane is not as hard on a horse. Just, as you take off, get to altitude and then land, it's a lot less stressful even than over the road travel, which I kind of believe. I mean, if you've ever pulled a big truck and trailer, I don't know if you've ever driven a semi and then noticed the amount of people that cut you off on the freeway or the highway is insane. So I think that um, I don't doubt that the ride is going to be a little bit smoother for them, to be honest.
Okay.
So it'll take him out of any other competition stateside for July, but just a decision we made when we decided to go over there. So
So exciting.
I've got two other horses that are still here. Um, and they'll stay in training and stuff like that. So when I get home, I'll give everybody a break and then we'll show in August. So that'll eat up a majority of my July. And I'm excited, Nick and I get to get out of the country one more time. So he's gonna come with me. And so it'll be nice to just hang out and have him there. I'd like to have everybody there, but the cost of travel, I think, is just, you know, what it is. So
It's going to
by the
be
time I
super
get the
cool.
horse there and then
2027 when the twins are racing in Australia, Deanne. It's going
yeah.
to be really cool that we're doing that, by the way. We're doing that.
I thought we were going to go in 2026.
At 26, 27, that's how our season rolls because it goes over Christmas, New Year, right? I mean,
Oh,
if you're ready, let's do January right now. I'm ready, but I'm pretty sure that Donny's not. So anyway, we'll work that.
No, he's struggled with that. Yeah.
I know, I know.
does that mean it's on ice for Donnie to come back to Australia? I have not had the conversation with him.
No,
I guess he's the one that gets to say, obviously,
he's
but
a little bit protective of his nieces, and it was kind of interesting watching when I watched them race in North Dakota, how nervous he was watching the girls. Like it's a real thing. He really struggles with it because I know he feels partly responsible because of the way that the torch was passed and the way that your dad said, "Hey, get the girls in the car. I want this to happen now." And so I think that's got its own pressures. But the thing I admire the most about you two is your way that you balance being a businesswoman and an athlete. And in many ways, Deanne, you're an athlete in the way that you have to coordinate what your children are doing in a very high pressure environment. But you're incredible mums, the pair of you. You have all these things going on. You also have incredibly supportive husbands, like between Nick and Mike, and the way that they support your dreams and what you need to do and support your children. And Deanne, being a dad is different to being a stepdad, right? You have to take on it's a different way of doing things. But you're amazing mums, the pair of you. So your children are your greatest achievements between the pair of you. There's no doubt.
Well, thanks, Wade. That's very kind of you.
Well, you both know it. You don't take your eye off the ball, right? This is a difficult life for a single mum, the pair of you with what you do, let alone having responsibilities in business, running business, and being parents. So, Krista, I know you're very proud of your children. You're very proud of Deanne. So, the pair of you have that in common.
yeah, I think it's a blessing to be able to be so active and so capable at work to carry that torch and progress, and move things forward. It's a really wonderful thing to have. We're really lucky to have established businesses and then, parents that trusted us enough to say, hey, push this ball
Yeah.
forward. And Deanne and I have had the space to do that. And, I think Deanne probably has been a bigger mentor in my life than maybe anybody. My parents were working quite a bit when we were little, and they started the Petro in
Mhm.
Fargo in 94, and I didn't graduate high school till 99. So when my parents were gone 3 days a week, my sister did a lot of momming me, whether I liked it or not. But,
Aw.
I think she had a lot of good practice on raising me before she got to the point where she had her four kids. So, but, I think it's fun to be able to do what we do, and we couldn't have done that without our parents. But to be a mom and watch our kids do great things too, I think it's just really great. And it's very true. We couldn't do, like, Mike and Nick are amazing. I couldn't be gone as much as I am if I didn't have a partner that totally supported and was a good dad. I mean, that's a great husband, is a really good dad. So, and I think good dads are really underrated. So
Yeah,
we
they
don't
are.
celebrate them enough. You know what I mean? So we just don't celebrate them enough.
Yeah, oh,
So
that's cool. I cannot wait to get my Krista Marshall shirt. Deanne,
yeah,
make it so. It has to
I
happen.
will.
The net is blowing up
Yes.
here at the moment. You've got orders in Australia, and don't be looking like what's happening. What's happening, Krista? I'm sorry.
we're only doing
We're
it if Deanne designs it.
Sure.
yeah, you're gonna
Just
be Yeah, I can
for
design it.
sure. Yeah, it'll
Sure.
Yeah.
happen.
With my creativity.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
great.
I'm gonna look back at the comments and there's gonna be like one comment and I'm
Uh,
gonna be like, you really played this up to where it was a bigger
how
deal
many
than it
people would
was.
would buy a
I'm
Krista
gonna be
Marshall shirt?
I'm
Uh,
so disappointed.
I'm doing it right now.
For
In the
yeah,
comment
for sure.
section, how many people would buy a Krista Marshall? And we'll
Oh
use
my
that the
gosh.
skid
Okay.
shot that shot. What's that called when you do that?
It's called a sliding
Slide.
stop.
Of course, it's called the slide.
Yeah,
Touch our slide.
yeah,
What were you going to
yeah,
say? Creative one
yeah.
down there?
Uh-huh.
What was the
Yeah,
creative
we'll
one
let
going to say?
Deanne.
She's doing it. Okay, cool.
What's he doing?
Yeah,
Uncle Greg's getting one?
Oh, hell yeah.
Uncle Greg's.
There's a lot of people
Well,
getting
maybe we'll do this as a fundraiser to help me get
it.
to Switzerland for the World Equestrian
That's a
or
That's a
for
good
great
the World
idea.
idea.
Reining.
Yes,
Yeah,
Wade.
because I tell you what, you guys, it's a lot. It's a lot to get a horse shipped overseas. So, if you see me selling a kidney, it's probably why. You
I could
know,
sell one of
so
the kids. One of the kids
Oh,
could go.
no,
which one would
no.
you sell? That's an interesting question.
Oh, they'd bring him back. They'd bring him back.
I'll take Bergan.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'll give
Bergamo.
Bergan,
Bergan.
she's a
Yeah,
hot commodity.
she'd fit right in here at the Marshall household. Not that I don't
Yeah.
want the other three. I'm just saying, be Ollie, Oliver and Bergen. Swear they're like kindred spirits from the age of like one on. I mean, when oh, it was so cute. I mean, because they're only what are they, 9 months apart, Deanne?
Yeah. Well, yeah,
10
not quite.
a year. Yeah. So as soon as they could walk and talk, I just remember Bergen being like, Ollie,
Oh,
Ollie. Like we have all these videos of Bergen just
oh.
being like, Ollie. And then they looked like twins, truly. I mean, they look so much alike. And they're just so close and they're just both the sweetest little souls. So it's
I
fun.
honestly think I think Bergen's probably going to be like seriously famous someday.
I think she'll be the most famous one, to be real honest with you.
Yeah.
Wow.
She's got like there's something that's going to
Yep.
happen with that kid and she's going to be like Wade's going to see her on
Yeah.
TV and he's going to go, oh,
Mm,
Yeah.
Bergen.
I knew it.
I
Yep.
I interviewed
Yeah,
her in
she's
the
Made.
dugout of the softball field, and I knew it. There was something that was, and
Yeah.
it was the way that she was so supportive of her sisters that really warmed my heart. There's no jealousy at all. It's like I'm so happy for when we pulled up outside the track and the Jim O'Day, he had his two cement trucks, like concrete trucks out the front with the cars, and Bergen's like, oh, that's so cool for the girls. And isn't it
yeah,
funny how
she's
you guys were worried about what we're going to talk about, and we're an hour into this? Hmm?
we are.
Hmm? Yeah. Well, I mean, Krista and I are. You had a bit of a siesta in the middle of that.
I know. It's literally I have a blanket on. It's seriously like 40 degrees here. Like, what the hell? Why do we live in this
It's
place?
43 here.
It's
Well,
It keeps the
terrible. Like,
riffraff out.
hurry up and get to work on this t-shirt. I think that's a really good idea, and it's a way that we could get to what we wanted, which is your shirt, which could help what you're doing. So this is perfect. So let's do it. Okay, Deanne, get on the creative, get your
okay.
cricket care, and let's make this happen, please, because it would be super cool, and I know that a lot of people would buy it. So we're doing it. The shorty slide is what Stormy's calling it. The shorty slide.
Oh, who said that?
That's a good one.
Hmm.
Stormy Hood or
So,
who?
Yeah. Stormy Hood said the shorty slide.
so Wade,
Yep.
do you know where that all comes from, the
No,
shorty thing? Have
no.
you heard this? Well, like, so I was 23 before my dad called me by my real name.
Oh,
Yeah. You know what it's like being 23 and your dad still calls you shorty?
I call
I
you
mean,
short.
you call me short all the time, and so does Donnie. But like, so like, I had a nickname, and I mean, I had a nickname. Like, there was people that for my whole life, they're like, "What is your real name?" You know, and then I'd be like, "It's Krista," and then they're like, "What?" And it was just so foreign to so many people. Like, I mean, teachers in school, and the principal of my elementary school, and bus drivers, and everybody at the truck stops, and everybody who, I mean, so there's a lot of people. Like even when my brother started racing, I don't know. I mean, I was a teenager, a young teenager, so everybody just called me Shorty and Shorty and Shorty, and so now it comes up, and I'm like, and I'm an adult and there's so many people that have never heard it that
Now I
it's
know.
I love that there's people here that are tuned in and it's like, oh, the shorty slide. Like it's just I love that. I love the community behind all of the racing stuff. It's just so fun
Well, I love the fact
to
that before you became a marshal, it would have been Shorty Shots because that's got
It
yeah,
was.
a
It
great
was
tag,
shorty
Shorty
shots.
Shots.
shorty
Yeah.
shot.
We used
Yeah.
to like Krista and I used to my parents when we were young, we both short horses, you know. We did
Yeah.
rodeo and all this stuff. And so my dad literally, I remember being 16 years old, like just got my license, and we had a dually pickup and a four-horse slant featherlight trailer.
Yeah.
And her and I would we would load our horses up, all the stuff, all the equipment, and we would go to these horse shows all over North Dakota and South Dakota by
Hmm.
ourselves. And then we'd stay in that trailer. It had like it
Yeah.
wasn't even a bed, it was just like a
Now,
flat,
it was like a futon mattress on top of the gooseneck. Really? That's all
yeah,
it was. I mean, but that was
no bathroom.
no bathroom, no heat, no AC. And I think a
But
lot of
it,
people did it like that, but
yeah, but they used to call, anyways, the point is, even the people at the rodeos and the horse shows, you were shorty shots when you came in the arena. They didn't even say
yeah.
Krista shots. They're like shorty shots, the number 212.
I love the way
Did
she
it's
laughed.
just
She's like,
Yeah.
oh my
you're
It's
God.
still
so
short.
wild.
You're
Yeah, I mean it's wild to me. And I think yeah, now it's to have that nickname is just I think it means something different than it did, in the mid 90s, but it's just how I was raised, Everybody
Yeah.
I would tell people that was my name, I would just
The
everybody just
Shorty
knew.
slide is going to be, it's got to be on the shirt, Deanne. Okay. It's got to be
yeah,
on the
she's not short either. I think you're taller than me. I'm 5'7", so
Yeah.
like I don't think you're. But Wade, when are
Yeah.
you coming?
No.
Like for all the listeners that are really tuning in to see when you're coming back, when are you coming back?
June 15 is the time at the
June
moment.
Really?
15th, so 1 month.
Gone out to Skagit to Super Dirt Cup, check out that, and then head to Midwest to Knoxville, and I'm gonna do some photos for Tara Utermark for her wedding. So
Mm,
really excited about that, and I want to try and work out a way to get back up to, or a photo shoot up in your part of the world, and I really want to come out and check out Minot, but I don't want to go on a road grader, if that's okay.
okay.
Donny told
Okay.
me he's going to
Yeah.
fly me there, so that's going to be heaps of fun. But I've got a big
Well,
go on.
I'm going to be in Oklahoma City until at least the 22nd of June.
Okay.
So, and then so I'll be home around the 23rd or something like that. And then I'll leave for Switzerland probably around the 5th of July. So I've got a solid 2 week, maybe almost window in there. How long are you in the US?
I leave after the Super Nationals and IMCA Super Nationals in so Labor Day weekend, then the week
Boom.
after, and then the week after that I'm sort of gone. So yeah, got some fun stuff going
It's
on.
I should
Oh,
have
so you'll be,
we should have thought of
yeah.
you for the twins as senior pitchers. But
They're growing up so
yeah,
fast.
they're actually gonna graduate. They're actually gonna graduate. They're walking through graduation in July because they only have 2 credits left, so they will be graduating high school like just about a year early.
Well, nothing surprises
Yeah.
your family. Nothing surprises me.
Yeah.
This time I won't be sick at least. Last time I was,
I
as
hope
you know, I was I'm about to have my gallbladder out. Anyway, I just literally arrived in your driveway and I'm like, have you got any painkillers, some drugs? I just need to go to
I
bed.
wish we would have known. I wish we would have known you could have got it out right then and there.
Yeah. Oh, great. What'd you do in North Dakota? Well, got my gallbladder out. I
That
want
we
to say,
talk.
I want to say thank you so much for your time this afternoon / tonight. I'm so proud to call you both friends, and the stuff you're doing is amazing for your children and your family and in business and so many things. And I think your family is so misunderstood. And I always want to, whenever I get a chance, to say, you know what, you don't know. Sometimes you just don't know. You see what you think you know, but you don't know what this family is really like. So I'm always going to be out there beating the drum and I'm going to come and see you ride that big, hairy rocket ship bloody horse that scares me at some point. All right, and going to go on the plane with Donny or maybe Uncle Greg, although Uncle Greg scares me a little bit if I'm being honest. Maybe if I
You
take,
should be scared.
I'll take your
He's a
mum
total
with me.
badass.
I'll take Diane with that way he won't do anything stupid, right?
Yeah.
I
We
don't.
should see if Donnie could take us all to watch her while you're
Oklahoma
in
City.
town because it's just a small window, but it would have to be quick. Yeah.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
she won't be in Minot with the horses. We'd have to go somewhere.
Okay.
So,
well,
but we can work that out.
if you were to go to one that was a nice one to go to, the Oklahoma City Derby is it's fun, especially if I make the finals and you
If
guys are there. Allowed.
if
It'll be allowed, and Eva's going to be there, and her horse is going to be there. So
but they have the banner, shorty shots, go shorty shots.
yeah,
Yeah,
the Shorty Shots banner.
We'll have to get
I'm
people
gonna
to
get
take their
working on.
shirts off and paint SH,
Nobody,
like
yeah,
the
nobody
football.
in my industry will know at all who it is. So I'll be like, I don't know what they're talking about.
I'm gonna go to
I'll get
work, you
working on the
two.
shirts.
Some weirdos over there.
Thank you,
So,
thank you, thank you, thank you. This has been so much fun. I got to go and do some work. We got a Speed Week promoters conference coming up shortly. We're planning our Speed Week, and so next season I want to have the girls race down in Australia. Okay, so we need to start working on that, Deanne, because
Okay.
we've got people that do nails down here. You'll be fine. No need to stress.
Emily has to come with. Emily travels.
Okay,
fun.
sure.
I'm
Thank
just
you,
kidding.
Wade, for
I'm
the
kidding.
invitation.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Wade.
I love you guys. I'll see
Yes,
you
thank
soon, all
you.
right? Say hi to
See
everyone
ya.
All right,
for
talk to
me.
you soon. Thank
Bye.
you.
Oh
Bye.
my
Bye,
God, it was
Dee.
fun.